All right, folks, welcome to Hard Hat Conversations. I'm your host, Richard, here in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio, Buckeye State. Today is Friday, August the 22nd, 2025. So on a Friday evening, I just got off work, folks. I had a few things I want to talk to you about tonight. This is a podcast about telling the truth. We try to tell a hard truth. I don't like the truth. It hurts me, but it helps me grow as well. So the first thing you need to understand is that the truth shall set you free. Remember that old saying? We don't want to say that anymore, folks, because we're afraid today. We're afraid of so many things, folks. We used to be a nation that wasn't afraid of a lot of things, only a few things. But now we're not afraid of anything. So is that a good fear or a bad fear? Let's talk about it. And let's do it. All right, folks. I got to ring the bell, folks. I got to ring the bell. I'm trying to get your attention. The reason I ring the bell today, folks, is there's a few things. I got to go to my notes, folks. I love going to my notes. There's a few things I want to read off to you, and I need you folks to please pay attention to everything that I read. It's a few things that I just want to read out to you. So please pay attention. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Okay, here's number one. Security systems. Think about it. Security systems. I'm keep going. Dogs. Cameras. Guns. Lights around your house. A fenced yard. What does those things have in common, folks? I'm going to read it to you again. Security systems, dogs, cameras, guns, lights around your house. What does all those things have in common? Those are forms of deterrence, folks. That's why people have one or two or three of all of those things. Those are just a few examples. They are called deterrents. I'm going to read it one more time. Security cameras, systems, dogs, cameras, guns, lights around your house, a fenced yard. Those are called deterrents. Okay, folks, we all got that? Deterrence. All right, folks, I'm going to go to my phone real quick. I want to read you something real quick. If I can find it real quick. Give me a moment, folks. Where did you go? Okay, here's the definition of deterrence. Deterrence is the act of preventing something from happening, folks. Remember I read those things out to you? Deterrence is the act of preventing something from happening. Particularly undesirable, listen folks, undesirable actions like, here we go folks, crime or military aggression by instilling fear or convincing an actor, that's a thief or a robber, that the cost and risk of their actions outweigh the benefits. The cost and the risk of their actions outweigh the benefits of taking your goods, taking your life, and all sorts of things. That's what a deterrence is. So that's why I read those things, folks. If you missed it, rewind the video and go over it again. But that's why I read those things. They are called deterrence. And the reason I said deterrence because I don't know what happened to our nation, folks, or just your family or your neighborhood. Some of y'all got neighborhoods, and some of y'all got communities. We don't have fear of anything, folks. We don't have fear of our parents. We don't have fear of police. A lot of us don't have fear at our supervisors. things of authority or rules. We don't like rules anymore. We think once we leave our house or apartment or wherever we live at, we can just do whatever we want out in public. And the reason we have rules, folks, so we don't have chaos. Because if me, Richard, can go out and do whatever the heck I want to do out there, that's going to cause an effect and disturb somebody else's peace of what they doing out there. That's why we all have to have a general rule of space, respect, kindness. And we don't have those small, simple things. You don't need a college education, folks, to understand those things. I know the truth hurts, folks. It does, doesn't it? Oh, you sound crazy. How does that, what I just said, sound crazy? Help me out. Like, subscribe, make a comment, whether you like it or not. How what I just said, folks, sound crazy to you? Unless you're a criminal. It may sound crazy if you don't like to follow rules. Things of that nature. We done reversed it, folks. There used to be a word called normal, and a lot of people don't like normal now. We took normal out of the dictionary. And normal ain't nothing but a conformity of things that the majority do, because the way our world works, the majority rules, whether we like it or not. At the end of the day, the majority makes the rule. That's what you vote for. Yeah. You ever thought of that? When you go vote, the majority wins. So when you hollering about this and that, remember, the majority voted for that, whether you like it or not. That's just the way our system works. Now, we untweaked it and done a few things, but at the end of the day, the majority's supposed to rule. But we flipped that now, didn't we, folks? Talk to me, folks. This hard hat conversation. We flipped the script now. Instead of the majority rules, the so-called, what they call it, help me out, folks, the 1%. We have a handful of people and companies that flip the script, and now they make the decisions on what we're going to eat, what we're going to watch, what we're going to drive, all sorts of things. Because all we are consumers, folks. And I don't want to get too far in it, but I have to throw out a few examples just to get you to understand what I'm coming from Richard's mind. Like I said, I don't know everything. I could be off. Help me out. Join in. I don't know everything. Neither do you. But as a collective group, we do. Somebody out there, if I don't have it, somebody else out there got it. Vice versa in your life. So we are consumer, folks. That's all we are. We go to work every day. We pay bills and taxes. What do? We fight and get in debt to go on a trip most of the time because we can't afford to go anywhere. It's another form of relief from our daily stress of life. It's sad that we have to do it this way, but we allow the small minority took over our lives, and they've been doing it forever, but yet we're the majority, and we allow it. It's sad, isn't it, folks? Sometimes I feel like they are the Pied Piper. Remember that story, the Pied Piper? How they, I guess, I can't remember everything, but they didn't pay him or something for getting rid of the rats or something. So he said, okay, I'm going to get you back. I'm going to play my flute. And the whole town disappeared, followed him. That's what we are. We used to pick with the mouse in the maze. We are in the maze. The majority of us are unhappy. Remember I said the majority is supposed to rule. So why is the majority of us unhappy? Why are the majority of us poor? Medium household incomes are terrible. Prices are skyrocketing for basic food. Why are we paying for water, folks? We need water to live or we'll die. Why do we have to pay for that, folks? If we so such a high class, what that word I'm missing, folks? Help me out. We're supposed to be a high class society, a light in the darkness. United States. Why are we paying for water? Why are food so high that we have to sometimes not eat so we can pay for medications? Those things are not luxuries. Those things that we need to live. So why do we have a handful of people controlling those things? It's sickening, folks. We are the majority. So the majority is gone now. And they have things in place so you can't get together anymore and say no more. Now, we always had it like that, folks, but it was on a lower level. Now it done got crazy, crazy. You don't even have the American dream anymore, folks. Not like it used to be. Maybe one or two people will slip through the cracks. That's with anything. But when you have a lot of people that's not going nowhere, and then you got people that's just telling you to get free stuff all the time. Don't worry about nothing else. Somebody will take care of you all the time. Or you got the other ones on the other side want more and more money. It's never enough. What do you do, folks? So I don't want to get off the subject, folks. So that's why a deterrent is what those things I read. Now, I want to go somewhere else, folks. I know this is a Friday and I'm hitting you with some different stuff, but please stay with me. I went on the internet and I looked up, because we always talking about crime and stuff like that, because that's the big deal right now. Next week it'll be something else. But since Donald Trump started that takeover in D.C., and then he said he might do it in Chicago. He's not taking over D.C., but we know it. We know what's going on. But crime is in the air, so let's talk about crime, folks. I looked up, and these numbers going to be a little bit off, but they're close. What I read you, I got it off. Some of it I got off of ZipRecruiter. You know how the numbers a little bit higher or a little bit lower than what they say. So the average officer pay in Ohio is around $84,000 a year. It could be a little high. Like I said, some of them are higher as you've been in there, detectives longer. But we're talking about the average, folks. Okay, let's stay with me. We're talking about the average. $84,000. Is $84,000? I'm talking to you folks out there. Is 80 folks? Sorry, folks. Is $84,000 enough to risk your life to help other people in the fight crime? Think about it, folks. Is the average pay in Ohio for a police officer is $84,000 is enough for you to put on those shoes and that uniform to go out here and deal with the public? Is it enough, folks? You tell me. Could you do it for $84,000? Let's go. A nurse, RN, a regular RN, average around $90,000. Dealing with the public every day, seeing the sick people, seeing some people pass away, running around. You've been in the hospital a lot. You've seen what the nurses do, back and forth, back and forth. They psychiatrists, they everything. Is $90,000 enough for that? You tell me, folks. RTA bus driver. You know, a city bus driver. Average around $50,000 a year. Is that enough, folks, for what they go through on them buses? The horror stories you unheard and seen, and the ones you haven't heard about. A correction officer at a juvenile facility, folks. A correction officer at a juvenile facility, folks. On the average, $21 an hour, folks. Did you hear what I just said? On the average. Dealing with young youth that is out of hand, no parenting, no nothing. Committing crimes, adult crimes. And you paying some man and some woman to go into those facilities to help to try to protect us out here in the public for $21 an hour. Is that worth it, folks? Could you do it? Could you do it? A fireman, folks. The average in Ohio around 60,000. Could you do that, folks? Go in one of them burning houses, fighting fires. You don't know how old the house is or how stable the house is. You can fall through a floor. Anything can happen. Would you do that, folks? Climb them ladders for 60,000, folks? Talk to me. Could you do it? All right, folks. Let me go to my notes again. I want y'all to think about that for a minute while y'all out here screaming and crying and stuff about our first responders and the things that they do. Because all those jobs do what, folks? They deal with the public. Today's public, folks. Not 30 years ago public, where they had the fear of the police. They had the respect of the police. They had the respect of the nurses and being able to tell them, thank you for your helping me out when I'm sick and down. Thank you for being somebody I can talk to. The bus driver that's getting you guys and girls to work every day. Driving that old big old bus through all this traffic. Oh, and I forgot another thing, folks. Excuse me. One more salary I want to throw out there. The average for Ohio school teacher is $54,000. Dealing with the youth of today, folks, not 30 or 40 years ago. $54,000 the average for a Ohio school teacher, folks. Beating up teachers, cussing teachers out. You can't pal them no more. Then after they get in trouble, the parents want to fight you, mace you, do all kind of things to you. Is it worth it to you, folks? Could you do it? All those professions deal with the public, folks, of today, not yesterday, today. So while you sitting back there complaining about some of those jobs that I just told you about that deal with the public, those jobs that I told you, we need those people more than ever right now. We need them. And I'm going to read you some other salaries from some other professions. And I want you to tell me which group would you take out of this group. Now, that was the first group. Police officers, $84,000. School teachers, $54,000. RNs, average. All these are average prices. Registered nurse, $90,000. RTA bus driver, $50,000. Correctional juvenile officer, $21 an hour. $60,000 on the average for a fireman. Now, listen to that group. Now, listen to this little short group that I got. And tell me which one you rather have in your community and which one you can do without. The average NBA basketball player, minimum salary is $1.5 million. That's the minimum salary of an NBA basketball player. You know, that's somebody that shoot a rubber ball in a whole, a kids game. Okay, a coach that teach them or help them practice to play that kids game, on average, makes $7 million in the NBA. Do you know what a Fortune 500 company average CEO makes? A Fortune 500 company, on average of a CEO makes 17 million. That's the average, folks. 17 million of a Fortune 500 company. Since I'm stationed here in Ohio, in Cleveland, like I said, these numbers on the average, they can be off a little bit, but they close. They got down here, the mayor of Cleveland make around 160,000. Probably more than that, but on the average, 160,000 for the mayor of Cleveland. And Cleveland, a small city, folks. What we got, 300 some thousand people, something like that. The mayor of Chicago, city like three times size of Cleveland, make 216,000, give or take more. That's the average. City council around in Cleveland make around 80,000 or more. And when I name those mayors and city council, don't forget about the perks that they have. Security, sometimes, personal, enough money for a personal vehicle, for gas and all that. So keep in mind the perks, folks. Also with the NBA coach and the CEOs. So here we go, folks. One more time. Let's go to school here. Here's the first group. Which one you can do without with, and which one would you rather have? The first group. Police officer, 84,000 average. School teacher, 54,000 average. RN, 90,000 average. RTA bus driver, 50,000 average. Correctional juvenile officer, $21 an hour on the average. Firemen, 60,000 on the average. That group. Here's the other group. 1.5 million minimum NBA basketball player. NBA coach, 7 million on average. CEO of Fortune 500 companies, average 17 million. Mayor of the city of Cleveland, around 60,000. 160,000. Mayor of Chicago, around 216,000. City council, around 80,000 or more. So which group can you do with or without, folks? Like I said, like, subscribe, comment. You tell me. Because this is ridiculous, folks. Like I said, the majority used to rule. Now the minority rules. And look how that's working out. The needs of the people of the United States are not being met, folks, by all these people. Only the majority, only the minority, the small group is getting all the benefits. The majority is getting nothing. And that has to change, folks. It's too many. It's too many people that don't have nothing. The poor are always going to be with us. Like I said before, crime going to be with us. But it's out of hand, folks. The system is broken, folks. Somebody got to tweak it a little bit. Do you know how they always tell us, the poor, to give more? Well, we don't have nothing to give. So why don't the minority group with all the money, they need to give more? What's wrong with that? To a certain extent, they need to give more. They do. Now, there's nothing wrong with capitalism. That's just the way our system runs. I'm not beating it up and say everybody should give up everything. I'm not saying that. But there comes to a point where even the other side that create the jobs, that have the companies and stuff, they get greedy too. And this is what happens. So that's why we have to have a balance, folks. We got to call them out sometimes. It's just too many people suffering right now, worrying about water, food, shelter. Can't even buy a house. It's ridiculous. And nobody's saying nothing about it, folks. Where's the money going into housing when people can have affordable housing? People that work like me and you should be able to have a home to go in without being stressful. Be able to walk down our streets without being stressful. But yet we don't have money for more cops, and then we don't pay enough for them. Look, when COVID was going along, we didn't even have enough nurses to treat the people that was sick. I know it was a pandemic, but still, folks, it's ridiculous. But we got money for everything else. So think about what I said tonight, folks. I just want to throw that out to you. Like, again, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. I'd like to thank everybody for listening. I didn't have to use my gavel tonight because I didn't get frustrated because, like I said, sometimes you get tired of repeating the same thing over and over. But sometimes you have to, folks. Sometimes you have to. This is Hard Hat Conversations. I'd like to thank you all for taking a few minutes for listening to me. Hope you all have a good evening. Like I said, get something good to eat on a Friday night. And I'll see you again in the future, hopefully. See you.